Hi, my name is Courtney and today I will be making a 4-inch Reese's Nutter Butter Cookie mini cheesecake. Seriously small size but big flavor, and it's seriously just the perfect size for two, but let's be honest, I would eat the whole thing. Don't judge me. So here's our pan. And today, the ingredients that we're going to be using, first we'll be doing, I have Nutter Butter cookies, and we'll be doing a 1/4 cup of these crushed, and you can use any cookie that you would like. And then what we're going to be using is a fourth tablespoon of melted butter. We'll be melting that. And then of course we're going to have our cream cheese, and this is 4 ounces, and you do want it at room temperature. We do have a 1/2 teaspoon of vanilla, 2 tablespoons of sugar, 1 tablespoon of sour cream, 1 egg, and about 1/4 of a teaspoon of some cake flour. You can also use some regular flour. And that's what we're going to be using for our ingredients. I will be putting some Reese's Pieces mini Easter eggs that I got in celebration. I'll be putting that in the middle of my layering of my cheesecake. And then also you can put any sort of toppings that you want on it. I'll be using crushed up cookies, Reese's peanut butter cups. So you can just go ahead and do whatever you want with it. So I do want to get started with my crust. So we will be taking our cookies and the melted butter. First, what we do want to do is get our pan prepared, and we're going to be turning on our oven at 325 for our crust. So what we are going to do is we do want to start where we're going to take a little bit of oil, put it on a napkin, and I just go ahead and put that inside of my pan. So here's my pan. And I'll just be dabbing it. Make sure it's nice and coated, and that's kind of how I make sure that it's coated nice. You do not want the cheesecake to stick. I do get a little bit messy, so excuse my mess. So we'll put that aside. And then what we want to do is wrap our cheesecake pan with some foil on the bottom. In doing this, sometimes the butter will melt, and you don't want that all over the oven. Get that all prepared, and we'll set this aside so we can get our cheesecake crust together. And so what we're gonna do is I will be putting my cookies into my bag. What we can do is I'll be crushing it with like a mallet. What you can do is put it in a food processor too. But you know, what fun is that if you can just beat it with your mallet, and it's a little bit more fun. Excuse my mess. All right. And so what we want to do with that is we're going to be putting it in a bowl. We're going to be putting our butter into it, and we want to get it where it's like sand. But not really wet sand and not really dry sand. We want it, so I kind of will put this in, not so much at one time, but I do know that this is probably a really good amount right now. So you should be fine. Just kind of stir it together. Sometimes I will use my hands. I do get very dirty in the kitchen, very messy. I just want to make sure it gets stirred nice. So once we get this together, we're going to be pushing it down on the bottom of the pan. Excuse my hand. So we can just put this in. What we want to do is I kind of just use my fingers. You can use the back of a spoon or something, but I find it easier to go ahead and put it in with my hands, but they're dirty. You can put it up on the sides if you'd like. And so what we're going to be doing is we're going to be putting the crust only into the oven, and we're going to bake that for about 8 minutes. Let me go wash my hands real quick. Sorry about that. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and put this in the oven for 8 minutes. And so, what we can start doing now is making the filling for our cheesecake. You always want to make sure our ingredients are room temperature, at least. It just makes it so much better for mixing, and also you don't want the cheesecake to be lumpy if your cream cheese is warm. Not a good thing, but it's still going to be amazing, don't worry. So what we will be doing is we're going to put in our cream cheese. And then we will be putting in our sugar. And what I would like to do is start blending this right now with just the sugar and the cream cheese. We're gonna mix that until it's smooth, maybe about a minute because it is small. And in just a minute, not a second more, it does matter. This isn't a workout. We need to give the cheesecake love. like to do is I like to use my scraper to get around the bowl. Make sure you have everything out so it's not lumpy at all. And I do have to get my spoon. All right, so we did that for a minute, about a minute, maybe a little bit less. Now we're going to be adding our sour cream, vanilla, and flour. So here's our sour cream. Vanilla. And our flour. And we will be putting our egg in last. There is a reason for that. So now we're just going to mix until this is combined and, you know, pretty smooth. Is looking pretty smooth. I'm going to be scraping the sides again. And now we are going to crack the egg. And do not worry, no matter what, this cheesecake will be perfect. That's what cheesecake is, perfection, no matter how it comes out. Do not get any eggshell in, at least try. We'll mix this for just a little bit because then I want to scrape the bowl and do it one more time. Scraped in. That looks beautiful. So what we are going to do, I'm going to use a different spoon. Get a little messy. So now we're going to get our pan because this crust should be very well done now. So this, we're going to pour some of this in. You always have to, you know, just to make sure. And I'm not filling it all the way up. It's just honestly heaven. And do a pretty good amount on here. And so, like I said, I got some eggs, some Easter eggs. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just put these in the middle. And that way there's like a nice little surprise. Put those on, and I kind of put little dollops on it so I'm not squishing them out on the side. It's amazing. And then you just make sure you get all of that delicious awesomeness. Creamy heaven being poured into a 4-inch pan. Amazing. Now what you would like to try to do is kind of hit it on a counter. You're going to get all of the air bubbles out. You don't want any of those in there. What we're going to be cooking this in is the 325 degree oven. We also will be baking it for about 30 minutes. And when it's, you know that it's done, there is going to be a little wiggle in the middle, but you just imagine that a little wiggle means we're happy, and it will be happy. So we're going to put this in the oven for 30 minutes. No peeking in the oven. We will. No peeking. So now we just wait, and I could clean, but I'm just waiting for that cheesecake to get out. Remember not to peek. Don't peek like me. All right, I think time's up. It's been 30 minutes. Let's take a look at it. Get your hot pads on. We don't want to burn our hands. And it looks great. Here's our finished cooking time cheesecake. And now what we do have to do is that we'll let it sit out on the counter for just a little bit, and then we will have to put the cheesecake in the refrigerator to chill. Literally, cheesecakes seriously have to chill because they're so amazing. And we will have to wait for 3 hours, if more, but really, can you really wait that much longer? Because I literally can't wait that long. I have to get in there and get it. So We will put this into the refrigerator. We're just gonna wait for 3 hours. And that, my friends, is what I call delicious perfection. Creamy, peanut buttery chocolate goodness that might have been messy to make, but it's worth it. Every bite is a reason to make more, and trust me, I will make more. Perfection in heaven was just sent to me on a plate. Thank you so much. This was so much fun to make a mini Reese's Nutter Butter Cheesecake. Easy, fun, and totally worth the mess. I'll clean up later. Thank you for watching.